Are you one of the millions of Brits about to see your benefits increase? With April just around the corner, the Department for Work and Pensions is giving a much-needed boost to millions of households across the UK. But how much extra will you actually get in your pocket? And could you be missing out on benefits you're entitled to? With the cost of living still putting pressure on families, these increases could make a real difference to your monthly budget. But is the rise enough to keep pace with your everyday expenses? And could there be additional support you don't even know about? Stay tuned, because today I'm breaking down exactly what's changing with your payments and how to make sure you're not missing out on a single penny you're entitled to. Before we dive into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest money-saving tips and benefit updates that could put more cash in your pocket. If this video helps you understand your benefit increases, give it a thumbs up so more people can find this information. And drop a comment below letting me know which benefit you'd like me to explain in more detail in my next video. Now, let's get into the specifics of exactly how much more you'll be receiving from April. Let's start with the basics. From April 2025, most benefit claimants will see their payments rise by 1.7%. This includes popular benefits like Universal Credit, PIP, and Disability Living Allowance. But here's where it gets interesting: state pension recipients are getting an even bigger increase of 4.1%. Why the difference? Well, that's down to the government's triple lock commitment for pensioners, which ensures the state pension rises by the highest of inflation, average earnings, or 2.5%. This year, average earnings growth was the winner at 4.1%, giving pensioners a more substantial boost compared to other benefit recipients who are only seeing increases in line with inflation. These increases are designed to help benefit payments keep pace with the rising costs of essentials such as food, fuel, and household bills. But with inflation fluctuating over recent months, some have questioned whether a 1.7% increase will be enough to help the most vulnerable households manage their budgets. Nevertheless, any increase is welcome news for millions of people who rely on these payments to make ends meet. Now let's break down exactly what's changing for Universal Credit, which is claimed by over 5 million households across the UK. If you're single and under 25, your standard allowance will rise from £311.68 to £316.98 per month. That's an extra £5.30 a month, or £63.60 over the year. For those single and over 25, it goes up from £393.45 to £400.14, giving you an additional £6.69 per month, or £80.28 annually. Joint claimants under 25 will see their payments increase from £489.23 to £497.55, while couples where one or both are over 25 will get £628.90, up from £617.60. That's an extra £10.49 a month, or nearly £126 extra over the year. Universal Credit is more than just the standard allowance, though. There are various elements that can be added depending on your circumstances. For example, if you have children, there are additional amounts available. For your first child born before April 6, 2017, you'll now get £338.99 per month, up from £333.33, an increase of £5.66 monthly. For children born after that date, or for second and subsequent children, the amount rises from £287.92 to £292.81, giving you an extra £4.89 per month for each child. Families with disabled children receive further support through Universal Credit. If your child has a disability, the lower rate addition payment will increase from £156.11 to £158.76. That's an additional £2.65 per month. For those with a child who has a severe disability requiring more care, the higher rate will rise from £487.58 to £495.86, providing an extra £8.28 monthly. These increases may seem small when viewed individually, but for families with multiple qualifying circumstances, they can add up to a significant boost in household income. What about those with health conditions or disabilities that affect their ability to work? If you have limited capability for work, the extra amount will increase from £156, 11p to £158, 76p per month. And if you have limited capability for both work and work-related activity, meaning your condition significantly limits what you can do, you'll see a more substantial rise from £416, 19p to £423, 27p monthly. That's an extra £7, 80p a month, or about £85 over the year. Carers also receive recognition through universal credit. If you're caring for someone for at least 35 hours a week, and that person receives a qualifying disability benefit, the carer element will increase from £198, 31p to £201, 68p per month. This additional £3, 37p monthly may not seem like much, but it acknowledges the vital unpaid work that millions of carers perform across the country. For those who are working while claiming universal credit, the work allowance, the amount you can earn before your benefits start to be reduced, will also increase. The higher work allowance for those without housing costs will rise from £673 to £684, 44p, while the lower allowance for those with housing costs will go up from £404 to £410, 87p. These increases mean you can keep slightly more of your earnings before your universal credit starts to taper off, which is particularly important for those working part-time or on low wages. Let's talk about Personal Independence Payments, or PIP as it's commonly known. This benefit helps with the extra costs of living with a long-term health condition or disability, regardless of your income or savings. From April, the daily living component will increase to £110, 40p per week for the enhanced rate, up from £108, 55p, and £73, 89p for the standard rate, up from £72, 65p. The mobility component, which helps with getting around, will go up to £77, 40p for enhanced, previously £75, 75p, and £29. 19 for standard, previously £28, 70p. For someone receiving both enhanced rates of PIP, that's an extra £3, 14p per week, or approximately £163 over the year. While this might not sound like a lot, PIP is a tax-free benefit that doesn't affect your entitlement to other benefits, so this increase is a direct boost to your disposable income. It's worth noting that PIP is gradually replacing Disability Living Allowance, DLA, for adults, though children under 16 can still claim DLA. Speaking of Disability Living Allowance, the highest care component will increase from £108, 55p to £110, 40p weekly, the middle rate from £72, 65p to £73, 89p, and the lowest from £28, 70p to £29, 19p. For the mobility component, the higher amount will rise from £75, 75p to £77, 40p, and the lower amount from £28, 70p to £29, 19p. These increases mirror those for PIP, ensuring that whether you're on the old or new disability benefit, you'll see similar rises. For those on employment support allowance, which supports those unable to work due to illness or disability, the rates are also increasing. If you're single and under 25, your weekly payment will rise from £71, 70p to £72, 92p. If you're 25 or older, it goes up from £90, 50p to £92, 40p per week. Lone parents under 18 will receive £72, 92p, up from £71, 70p, while those 18 or over will get £92, 40p, up from £90, 50p. Couples on ESA will also see increases. If both partners are under 18, they'll receive £72, 92p per week, up from £71, 70p. If both are under 18 with a child, they'll get £110, 14p, up from £108, 30p. Couples where both are over 18 will see their payments increase from £142, 25p to £144, 67p weekly. There are also further rates for those with disabilities or caring responsibilities, which will all increase by the same 1.7% rate. What about our elderly viewers? The state pension is seeing the most substantial increase of all benefits. The full new state pension will increase from £221, 20p to £230, 27p per week. That's an extra £9, £70p weekly or £473 annually, taking the yearly amount to £11,975. For those on the basic part of the old state pension, the rate will rise from £169.50 to £176.45 per week, an increase of £6.95 weekly or £362 over the year. These increases are significant and will make a real difference to pensioners' budgets. Remember, unlike most working age benefits, the state pension rises by the triple lock, the highest of inflation, wage growth, or 2.5%. This year's 4.1% increase is tied to wage growth, which outpaced inflation. Linked to the state pension is pension credit, which tops up the income of pensioners on low incomes. The guaranteed credit will increase from £218.15 to £221.86 per week for single people, and from £332.95 to £338.61 for couples. The savings credit part will also rise slightly, providing a small additional boost for those who saved for retirement but are still on a low income. Attendance allowance, which helps older people with the extra costs of long-term health conditions or disabilities, is also increasing. The higher rate will rise from £108.55 to £110.40 per week, while the lower rate will go up from £72.65 to £73.89. This benefit is tax-free and isn't means tested, so it doesn't matter what your income or savings are. If you're over state pension age and need help with personal care or supervision to keep you safe, it's worth checking if you're eligible. Let's not forget about carer's allowance. If you care for someone for at least 35 hours a week and they receive certain disability benefits, you could get carer's allowance. The weekly rate will increase from £81.90 to £83.29. That's an extra £1.39 per week, or about £72 over the year. While this might not seem like much given the demands of caring, it's important to remember that carer's allowance can be claimed alongside some other benefits, potentially increasing your overall income. Now let's talk about families. Child benefit is one of the most widely claimed benefits in the UK, and it's also increasing from April. You'll get £26.40 per week for your oldest or only child, up from £25.60 and £17.24 for each additional child, up from £16.95 over a year. That's an increase of nearly £23 for your first child and just over £15 for each additional child. However, it's worth noting that the high-income child benefit charge thresholds aren't changing. If you or your partner earns over £60,000 individually, you'll still have to repay all of your child benefit through the tax system. And if either of you earns between £50,000 and £60,000, you'll have to repay a portion of it. This means that the benefit of the increase will be reduced or eliminated for higher earners. For new and expectant parents, there's good news too. Statutory maternity pay, paternity pay, adoption pay, and shared parental pay will all increase from £184.30 to £187.16 per week. That's an extra £3.13 weekly, or about £40 over the typical 13-week period. These are paid at the percentage rate. Maternity allowance, which is available to those who don't qualify for statutory maternity pay, will increase by the same amount. And if you're too ill to work, statutory sick pay will rise slightly from £116.75 to £118.73 per week, an increase of £1.98. While this might seem like a small amount, it ensures that the minimum you should receive while off sick keeps pace with inflation. Now, what's not changing? Despite these increases across most benefits, some aspects of the system will remain the same. The benefit cap, which limits the total amount of benefits a household can receive, isn't being raised. In Greater London, the cap remains at £25,323 a year for couples or single people with children, and £16,967 for single adults without children. Outside London, the limits stay at £22,020 and £14,753 respectively. This means that some families might not see the full benefit of these increases if they are already at or near the cap. The capital limits for means-tested benefits also stay the same. The lower limit remains at £6,000, meaning that any savings you have below that will be disregarded for benefits calculations. The upper limit stays at £16,000, meaning that if you have savings over that amount, you won't be eligible for means-tested benefits at all. If your savings are between £6,000 and £16,000, your benefit entitlement will be reduced according to a set formula. Bereavement support payments, which provide financial help following the death of a partner, will also stay at their current rates. The higher rate remains a one-off payment of £3,500 followed by 18 monthly payments of £350, while the lower rate stays at a one-off payment of £2,500 and 18 monthly payments of £100. The local housing allowance, which determines how much housing benefit or universal credit housing element private renters can receive, is another aspect that isn't changing. This could be particularly problematic for renters in areas where private rents have increased significantly over the past year. Here's something important that many people overlook with all these changes coming. Now is the perfect time to check if you're getting all the benefits you're entitled to. Research suggests that billions of pounds of benefits go unclaimed each year, with many people not realizing they're eligible for additional support. You could be missing out on thousands of pounds you're entitled to receive. There are several free benefits calculators available online from reputable organizations like Turn2Us, Entitleto, Policy in Practice, MoneyExpert, and StepChange. These tools can help you determine what benefits you might be eligible for based on your personal circumstances. You simply input information about your household, income, and situation, and the calculator estimates what benefits you could claim. It's worth spending 10 minutes using one of these tools. You might be surprised at what you're entitled to. Remember, if you're already receiving any of the benefits we've discussed, these increases will happen automatically in April. You don't need to apply or contact the DWP. Your payments will simply increase to the new rates. However, if you think you might be entitled to a benefit you're not currently claiming, don't wait until April. Check your eligibility now and get your application in as soon as possible. So there you have it, the complete breakdown of how your benefit payments will change from April 2025. While the 1.7% increase for most benefits might not seem enormous given the financial pressures many households are facing, it's important to remember that these rises are designed to help your payments keep pace with inflation. For pensioners, the more substantial 4.1% increase will provide a welcome boost to their income. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. These changes affect millions of people, and spreading awareness ensures everyone gets the support they're entitled to. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on benefits, money-saving tips, and financial advice. I post new content every week to help you make the most of your money.